President Cyril Ramaphosa finally dropping the axe on his security cluster in that reshuffle announcement just last night. Defence Minister Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula has been replaced by National Assembly Speaker Thandi Modise. There is also a major change in the economic cluster, with Enoch Godongwana becoming the new Finance Minister, Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams taking over the small business portfolio, and a whole lot of other changes as well. Cyril Ramaphosa announcing his resignation just hours before that reshuffle announcement was made last night. Professor Andre Duvenhage is from the Northwest University in Potchefstroom and joins us now on the line for some analysis on the reshuffle. Prof, it's great to have you with us this morning. Cyril Ramaphosa resigning at the 11th hour. One wonders what that reshuffle would have looked like outside of that resignation.
Good morning, Michelle. Yes, indeed, that is the case. It seems as if there is profound evidence against him, but so also was the resignation of Tito Mboweni a surprise, although we had the indications already a few months back. But what is clear to me is that this cabinet reshuffle is very much shifting the tables on the deck of the Titanic. I'm very concerned about the lack of new blood. The biggest change is the changes within the security cluster to centralize it, and that is symptomatic from the crisis of the last few weeks and the fact that the security establishment was failing the president and most probably undermining his position. Yeah. I believe that the appointment of Enoch Godongwana is a bit of a setback for the president. He is closer, according to my assessment, to the RET group and, let's say, the socialist approach to the economy. If we look at some other appointments, the appointment of Zenzo Mchunu is clearly a move to make the position of the president stronger, especially within a Zulu context. The smaller portfolio of Lindiwe Sisulu is to keep her at bay. We know that Thandi Modise is very, very close to President Ramaphosa, and that explains her position, again emphasizing the trouble within the security cluster. I must mention at last that there are still some serious concerns about corruption allegations involving a number of the senior appointments. And I think President Ramaphosa is a very concerned person at this point in time. He needs a strong government, especially to deal with the challenges in the wake of rumors that there may be a second wave of instability coming up. Some people are speculating as close as the 22nd or 23rd of August. So there are reasons for concern. I am not very optimistic about the cabinet, but I can see that he did probably within the limitations of his situation and his power base what he can to stabilize his environment.
Shall we take a look at what the president had to say when he announced his maiden cabinet in 2019? He said back then, if we are to make effective progress in building the South Africa that we all want, it is important that we deploy into positions of responsibility people who are committed, capable, hardworking, and have integrity. Does that follow on what we heard last night from what the president said back in 2019?
Well, unfortunately, no. I haven't seen strong performance. In fact, the president mentioned major challenges in the security cluster, in the economic cluster, as well as with regard to the implementation of the COVID process. I haven't seen a lot coming from the performance agreement from ministers. My own take is that the government is, generally speaking, underperforming. There's a lack of strong decision-making, giving direction into crisis. And that is what is concerning people so much, that there's a complete lack of leadership when it comes to government. And looking at the president yesterday evening, I have seen a very tired person, a person that is confronted with huge challenges. And the biggest problem is that what we have seen over the past weeks was a clearly well-organized attempt to get rid of him as president and his government. And that must be concerning if this is coming from your own party, from your own ranks, from your own system. And specifically the moves with regard to the security cluster is an attempt to counter this so-called insurrection, which I believe is an insurrection. I believe, however, that Thandi Afrika, with her investigation, can make a difference. I also believe that Siti Mufamadi, as a special advisor, can support the president in this context.
Professor?
But it's also clear to me that this is not the end of the battle within the structures, and I think we are going to see more of that in future.
Professor Andre Duvenhage, thanks very much for your time this morning. He's with the Northwest University in Potchefstroom.